wherever you are. There's a whole bunch of news rolling out, and I know most of you have seen the president, corn pop, potato head, touch the hair on my legs.
Make sure everybody can hear us and get on, because right now it's not showing that we're up.
Yeah, we're good. Somebody let us know.
Okay.
Neil's here.
Well, we've done this
Ominous
before.
Rooster. Guys, thanks for being here. Hit the like button. Have you heard this?
Tentatively, not decided finally yet. Tentatively, it is recommended that, will likely be recommended that everybody get it, no matter whether they got it before or not.
It is recommended, and likely will be enforced, that you get the new snake spit, which I'll get into that in just a second. But instead, we're going to change it from the woohoo bat flu
to the snake spit?
Yeah, to the snake spit pandemic. My grandmother used to say that when it was, you know, she wouldn't ever curse or anything like that. She wouldn't say, oh, that's a bunch of BS. She'd say, oh, snake spit. Well, that's what we're up against. Mama E would.
Mama E?
Yeah, my mother's mother.
She would
She had
say
a lot of
snake
sayings, guys. Man, I have so many sayings from my grandmother. Snake spit, yeah. Snakes don't have spit. But
that's funny as heck. I did not know that.
what was conjured up in Wuhan has a lot to do with venom, okay? That's probably going to be a key word. I can't talk about that too much. I learned that at the Red Pill. There's an overwhelming amount of evidence that snake spit is in what they're forcing you or will coerce you and try to make you get. It's in the actual new variant. It's in there. It's weird. I know, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around, but we learned a lot about it. And we have a massive super chat.
Well, I just think, yeah, because it's Tony.
Tony, are you drunk?
He said, put this bet on Chris for the arm wrestling win against Stacey. You the man. Oh, no. I am so going to win. I'm so going to win.
Thanks, Tony. That's crazy.
Matter of fact, maybe we should put it on camera. I'm so going to win. I'm going to beat you.
Okay, we'll arm wrestle on the anvil. Guys, I'll show you the anvil later. A lot of people have not seen the massive anvil that's sitting here.
Thank you, Tony. But okay, so let's go back
Thanks
to that.
a lot, Tony. That means a lot.
So we were there, and us and Bud and many other subscribers were there. And you guys let us know if our mics are good or not, because last night I was too loud. We listened to that guy talk about the venom that is in all these vaccines.
You better use code words.
Okay.
We're going to be gone.
They were snake spit and all the stuff that they want to give you.
Yeah, we got to be careful. I'm telling you, one more strike and we're history.
They've been doing this for like several years. All right, keep going. I'll keep my mouth shut.
No, I mean, say whatever you want, but if you say the wrong thing, it's hasta la vista.
You're right. We've already had one.
Yes, but just know that's where the title came from, and there is a mountain of evidence of all the different continents that they went to together, this snake spit, and conjure up this thing. And Facebook helps spread it all around. It's nuts. I sound like a quack talking about it, but I'm telling you, there's a lot to it, because I made a video that would have detoured all of it, and they took it down in 8 minutes. That's when I knew 100% sure it was all snake spit.
Well, all right, so let's get in the rest of the stuff that we got.
All right,
because that was one of the things that we learned at Red Pill, and it's just coming up again. And by the way, they're also saying that we're going to have the mask mandates again coming up. So you guys just heads up on that. So
yeah,
that's coming up.
Isn't it? It's just in time for the election. It's just in time. They're going to do everything. When I mean they, you know who I'm talking about. People get in the comments and they say, who's they? I don't understand who they is. You know, the few that want you to eat bugs and own nothing, rent everything, and somehow or another be happy. Well, all that stuff doesn't coexist together. You don't own nothing and happy. You know, those are that doesn't, because I've owned nothing and I wasn't very happy.
Kissy Home Inspections just said, just say no. You're exactly right. Just say no. Matter of fact is, I'm concerned about that because we've got trips coming up. And I told Chris, I said, man, I don't know how we're going to deal with this. But anyway, so let's get into some, you want to?
The mask, I know how I'm going to deal with everything else, but I mean, if I have to wear a mask to get on an airplane and I got to come see my people, then fine. But that's where it ends.
Well, where do you want to go from here? Because all the news, because I've got stuff, you've got
You
stuff.
go first.
All right, well, I was talking to Chris today. I said, we've been talking about bankruptcies and this kind of stuff, and I follow this all the time. I follow bankruptcies, I follow layoffs, people getting, and Chris, I'll come out to him every now and then. I'm like, look, they're laying off this many people. Oh, look, there's another bankruptcy. There's, look, just we talked about last night with Rite Aid and all this kind of green, all these kind of. So according to, this is an interesting thing I thought, and it says last year, 103, and I'm not good with Chris, I'm not good with the numbers, 103,586, is that right? I'm good with English, but I'm not good with numbers.
Yeah,
103,586 businesses across the, and just so you guys know, I'm not good with that. I'm good with English, but I am not good sometimes with numbers, and he has to help me. Across the country went bankrupt. That was a 12% more than 2021. So I kind of started doing some numbers, and I started looking up all the companies that went bankrupt, what was happening, who was going bankrupt, and you guys let me know if I'm too loud again. Chris, let me know if I am when they say it. And then they said this is a 12% more than 2021. After the 28 financial crisis.
After 2008.
2008 financial crisis.
There was only 158,441.
Yeah. So you guys, we're on the brink of being more than that.
We're not even in the Thunderdom good yet, and we're already approaching the status of 2008.
And I'm seeing them every day. I'm watching them on the list. I have a list that I watch, and I watch every day that they file bankruptcy.
We watch bankruptcies, and we also watch foreclosures. I get notified every time there's a foreclosure in my area, and it's starting to pick up just a little bit, not a lot, but we're kind of the last place to see it. Usually, like in 2008, this place was probably one of the least affected areas, I would say, because of, oil and gas and all that stuff that goes on. But interesting that the energy sector is the one that the banks are defaulting on the most. Isn't that crazy? So we've got oil that we know is going to be a precious commodity, and it's going down. Natural gas is like $2.54 a thousand right now. That is cheap. You never can outguess them. You just don't know, because this is all by design. There's no way around that. What is it?
Said about 2 weeks ago you were talking about HELOCs. You explained to me that they were what they were. Now I'm seeing them in both of my banks. You're right. You guys, we're going to get into the banking industry in just a little bit, but they are asking for your money. Keep going.
Oh, they're begging for it.
Yeah. Keep going.
Home equity line of credit.
Yep.
They want you to use this HELOC that you can, pull some equity out of your house while it's at all-time highs and go on vacations and get married. We saw billboards on the side of the road. Hey, get a HELOC if you want a nice vacation. Talk about bad advice.
Yeah. When Chris
That's
went
crazy.
When I saw that,
I almost wrecked.
I know. I came home, I told Chris, I'm like, can you believe this? I'm like, you're actually going to pay for a wedding for a HELOC? But anyway, keep going.
They're encouraging people to get in more debt. As we've passed $1 trillion in credit card debt, there's more people holding a balance and carrying a balance than ever before. Not poking fun at anybody. If you are one of those people, I just want to encourage you to try to get that off your back. It's a monkey that you'll feel so much better when it's gone. But I know there's a spot there where you don't feel like you have any money after you pay off that debt. But there's no places that I can think of that you can go and make 20% on your money. And that's what they're doing to you. They're making 20% off of you every month. So just know it's a scam. It is. It's a scam. And if you're having to live on it, like a lot of people are, I'm sorry.
So a HELOC can be used for good reason, and we used one. We actually did one. Briefly. But I knew going into it what we were getting into. And I knew that within a few months that I need to have that paid off, and we went into it with a plan. So HELOC can be used when it's used appropriately. It's good. But when you just say to pay for a wedding or to pay for a vacation, no, it's not a good thing.
Well, the problem is the variable rate. Who knows? And if you're taking equity out of your house as it's at its all-time highs, and then the value of your house drops, now you're in big trouble. Now you're Rite Aid. Now you're, so just,
Run the numbers.
don't take a vacation on a HELOC. That sounds financial advice, even though I'm not a financial advisor.
And don't get married on a HELOC.
Yeah, don't do that. That's bad. It's just bad. What else would? I heard Dan over at Allegedly was talking about Melissa Ferrari. Her account was compromised by scammers. These scams are coming from everywhere, and a bunch of them are coming from the precious metals industry. Crypto, everywhere there's something good, there's 100 scams. Now, this particular one, scammers transferred $30,000 out of her account through wire transfers. Now, I just know the people you're dealing with probably don't have your best interest in mind, usually. We're starting to see many banks start to withhold funds, not let you get your funds. We're starting to see, there was a coin dealer. He has a YouTube channel called Jewelry and Coin Exchange. It's a small channel, but the bank just decided to end their relationship. Wait a minute, just like that. Not only his, but his wife's.
And his kid.
And just cut them off. And he thought it was because he did cash transactions. Now, go watch the video. The channel's called Jewelry and Coin Exchange. The video did really good for him. It was like 107,000 views for such a small channel. So I could tell it hit a lot of nerves, and I wanted to bring it up because, this is nutty. What we're seeing with banks, as they get downgraded, several of them, in wads. They're taking like wads of banks and downgrading them. I thought it was going to be like one or two at a time, but it's like several at one time. And I think we're going to see more.
So I think these banks are struggling for money. And we've talked about this for like a couple of videos now, where one, the ACH transfers, they're holding on to your money. They're not releasing it as fast. Two, they're sending you stuff saying, hey, we'll give you $950, $700 if you open up money. I even talked to my dad the other day, and they're saying with the CDs, they're offering a lot more with percentage. They want you, but once they lock you in, you can't touch your money. The banks are needing your money. So, and when this guy said this, I watched his video, and it was sent to me for actually 2 or 3 subscribers, and I actually sent it to you, I think. And the guy said, and he...
I actually saw it on my Twitter. She posts stuff on my Twitter all the time. Guys, check out Twitter. It's Financial Prep PPR.
I post everything there. I post a lot of stuff there.
If you want to know what we talk about, it's over there. But that's where I found it.
But he was actually really concerned, and you could tell he paused, and he actually went to a couple other banks to open up an accounts, and it took him a week to even get approved to open up some business accounts. So that's kind of where we are, you guys, right now. It's in a different environment, and Chris and I, we have talked about this several times. We try to have several different accounts, but apparently he had all his accounts with one bank.
Oh man, that is a no.
So when they shut him down, they shut him down completely. They shut him down, his business account down, his wife's account down, and his kid's account down. So we've said this multiple times, you guys, you need to go to multiple banks. So
yeah, that never keep all of your funds in one place. That's a recipe for disaster. Spread it out. If one goes belly up, well, you're not broke.
But here's on another note I want to say, and he kind of made a point on this, and I don't know if he's accurate or not.
Precious metals, you're not broke either. Anyway.
Well, no, he made a point, and I'm curious to see. He made a point, and he said, I think they targeted him. He said this, not me, because that he was in the precious metal industry.
Yeah, well, that's what I think too.
So if that's the case, you guys, then that's a kind of a scary concept.
Well, do you think the bank wants you to pull your money out and buy real money? Do you think that helps them in any way? Does it help your financial advisor for you to pull money away from him and buy real money with fake fiat currency that will go down in value eventually? It is every year. Every year it's going down more and more and more. Well, we're about to see a spike in the dollar. if they raise interest rates, you know, it's going to make everybody run to safety. They're going to sell stocks, sell whatever. They're going to go to cash because everybody thinks cash is king. And it is for now. For now, it's going to have its day. But as we get into it, they're going to print money. That is every government's default. They all do the same thing. And that's when you're going to, and we're starting to see it. Banks aren't stupid. No. You know, they're starting to say, hey, you know, we want your money. We don't want you to have precious metals. You know, it makes perfect sense.
Well, look at the BRICS. Look at the Asian countries right now that are getting ready to have their meeting. Everything, what do they say, around the U.S. dollar? They're actually buying up more gold and silver than you can possibly imagine. It's unreal. I did a research the other day, and I don't have it in front of me, of the central banks. Actually, Andy Schechtman just did a video of this just a few minutes ago about all the central banks that are hoarding gold and silver. You guys look it up. They are like taking it.
We made several videos about it.
I know we have, but we just have to reemphasize
breaking records buying precious metals. But
anyway,
keep in mind.
I said I would really love to see a booster seat, Stacey. I have a booster seat tonight.
She's in a booster seat. But you keep in mind, yes, gold and silver is real money, but BRICS, I really believe that they are going to back their currency just like they say.
They say by commodities.
By commodities that we absolutely have to have.
Yep.
Now, what would bring a ton of value to a currency? A commodity that other countries absolutely need. And I'm talking about all the rare earth minerals that we have to have for computer chips. All that stuff that we get that corporate greed has sourced from somewhere else. You know, the green weenies doesn't want us to drill and do things here, so they send it somewhere else, overseas, and now we are dependent on them. So those countries are going to use that to back their new currency. It makes perfect sense.
We just talked about it last night where Biden just canceled, where we cannot drill. Was it like, I forget how many
it's always the wrong
acres of, no, how many? So, yeah, that's just what happens. And then we have to go overseas, then we have to export overseas, from export overseas. Anyway.
It looks like the wrong decision to us. It does to me for sure. But if I was an evil person that wanted to kill this country, that's exactly what I would do. I would follow their playbook to the T. And that's how I know. That's how I know for sure what's going on, because none of it makes sense. Why would you do that otherwise?
All right, well, I'm just going to tell you right now, while we're talking about gold and silver right now, the COMEX is open back up. It's past 5 o'clock. So we're at $24.43, and we're at $1,920.20 for the gold. So that's for our spot. We've got a couple specials out, but I'm going to be emailing out earlier, probably hopefully tomorrow or the next day when we get our next price list. But what do you want to go on to next? Because
so if you're interested, the number's up there, 318-564-5823. That's Stacey. She's a broker for Miles Franklin. But go somewhere else first. Get 2 bids. I say that in every video because it's important for you guys to hedge your wealth.
Yep,
take advantage of the wealth transfer at the cheapest price you can get. Now, New York City is spending around $20 million per month to house migrants on Randall's Island. Now, I don't know anything about Randall's Island.
$20 million per month to house immigrants of taxpayers' dollars. Keep going.
Shelter, food, Medicare, and any other necessary services. So it's worked out. They've had the Biden administration has opened the gates to the border. Literally, there's hinges in the middle of those big walls.
Yep.
They've opened them up, pinned them, and welded them open.
I showed Chris.
It is
like
100%
crazy.
Open border. And the people that are around the border and know about it, and we have somebody that reached out to us and told us about it, they are not telling us the truth. Just like what I'm about to read you. The number of migrants being housed in Randall has been steadily increasing, reaching around 8,000 individuals. Hang on, I'm getting there. The housing facility consists of large tents, modular buildings. You know, they're taking care of them. Critics argue that the high cost of gilded prepper colony. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The Department of Homeland Security is not releasing, is